Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back with the next part of our Learning C# tutorial, and today we're going to be, it's going to be interesting. We're going to take a few steps in several different directions. Normally, I wouldn't do something like that, but it's better, I think, than trying to go uh, deeper onto something because our distance system, our wind system, that's going to take a little bit of time, and I'd rather tackle a little bit of it at a time than do all of it at once, just because, for sanity's sake. Okay. Um, in fact, most of this is going to be um, GUI elements today. I think that's what we're going to cover. So let's go ahead and in our I character, you'll notice we have our isDead value in our alerted functionality. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit extra. We're going to make a public float, and we'll do distance. In fact, we'll just make a distance from camera, just so it's um, just so we can know what it is. So this will be something we plug in the inspector. It's like our stick guy in the house. You can put in, oh yeah, he's 50 yards or something. That's what we'll do. And this will just be a public float, so we can access him from anywhere. Okay, and that's all we need for him right now. Next, we're going to go ahead and open up our overlay manager. And in the same place here where we have our x-axis tick marks, we're going to do the same for our y-axis tick marks. So, let's go ahead and actually, I can remove this because originally I thought we were going to edit the R value, but we didn't. We just created our own rectangle values. And then just for the sake of saving some time, we're going to go ahead and copy this code, paste it below, change it to Y. Now I'm going to keep this indexing the same because we want it to be the same distance. We're just going to make it along the y-axis instead. So we're going to change the float value to r.center.y plus index. And we're going to set a new label here at the position of our and this value is now going to be here for our y position, and this is going to be r.center.x minus 5. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And what I'm going to do is here, we want to move it to, we'll move it to the right, so we'll do plus 5. Okay, and then instead of this, let's see, not underscore. I guess we could do a dash. Are there any other keys? Hold on, let me look at my keyboard. I guess not. So we'll stick with this for now. If it really ends up not looking good, I'll switch it out to some tick mark textures. If not, then we'll keep it like this. Okay, and this is all fine. I'm going to go ahead and actually pause the video now while I load up Unity. Okay, we're back. So let's go ahead and test this out. And you'll notice we now have our y-axis. However, if I pause it, you'll notice it's actually flipped. We have our negative values at the top, and we have our positive values on the bottom. And also we have to move it over a little bit more. And the reason for that is if we think about this, let's say we start out with a negative index, and we want it to be below, but we're taking the y and we're adding to it. So when the y starts at 0 here, and the screen.height max is down here, so it's inversed. So if we add stuff, it's actually going down. And so what we want to do is, if the first one is negative, it should be towards the bottom. So we're going to minus this here, and then we should be good. Now I'm also going to go ahead and, we have a plus 5 here. I'm going to change this to plus 10, so we move it over a little bit more, so we have some more space to work with. Let's go check this out, fine tune it real quickly. Not quite. Oh, I know. Because this is our y value. We want to move it over to the right here. So instead what we'll do is we'll make this +5. So it's going to move over to the right 5 units instead of down. And that's a little bit better. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and remove this -5 on the top one. Maybe -2. Just some really. This is just fine tuning it, just because we don't have some textures. In the future tutorial, I'll go ahead and plug in some textures just so it's looks a little nicer. But for now, that's fine. Okay, so now we've got some basic output of where we're aiming. We've got a nice aiming system, and we have the basic framework for our distance system. But we need to make it so I don't want to print just the guy's distance to the screen, which we can, but in most games like that, you have to, at least hover over your target for a little bit, or do some sort of reconnaissance where you get information on how far away he is. But we'll cover that in a little bit. There's just something else I wanted to cover today, and we're gonna call it object toggling. So what I want to do is not only can we program events in here, but in fact, we won't do it in here. We'll do it in our I character. I suppose we could actually do it in our damage zone, because here's where we're actually calculating damage. This is going back to that time when I was explaining where it probably would have been more efficient to keep this localized with our character script. But we can go ahead and do it in here. It's not a big deal. So what we'll do is in our I damageable, we're going to go ahead and do a public game object, and we'll do toggle game objects. Alrighty, and then in here we'll do for each. This is the whoops, sorry, wrong script. In our generic character damage zone, and here we're going to do a for each game object, capital G, game object go in what do we call it? Toggle game objects, and we'll do go dot set active true. Okay, so instead of trying to explain what this does, I'll go ahead and show it to you guys in a second. I have to actually create an asset for it first. Alrighty, we're back, and if you click on your generic state guy, you'll notice now we have our distance from camera. I just set that to 50. We're not using it yet. That's just for later on. And then also you'll notice inside here we have our toggle game objects. Hold on one second. Okay, we have this, and we have our size 0, and we'll just change that to 1. And what I want to do is come in here. I made a new sprite, and we're gonna up here towards the window, dragging our little sprite guy. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually make him a bit bigger. Now, obviously, it doesn't look that good because we don't have a window texture. But if we did, or not a window texture, but like a actual window meshes here with some transparency, it might look a little sketchy, but it'll work for what we're trying to accomplish. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna disable this by just clicking on this check mark here, and that just disables it, so it's no longer active in the scene. However, we can still drag them on here. Where is it? Oh, in our toggleable game objects. Now, once this guy dies, he should hopefully set the sprite to active. And there you go. So I'll see you guys next time.